My beloved child, pause in this moment and let my presence wash over you like a gentle stream, for I am the one who has watched over your days and nights with unwavering devotion, and I invite you to open your heart anew to the fullness of my love. Do not doubt that I stand beside you at every turn, quick to encourage you when your spirit falters, and ever ready to shield you when you feel vulnerable to life's shifting winds. I see the dreams that have flickered in your imagination and the hopes you've kept tucked away, uncertain if they're worthy of pursuit. Yet I want you to know that each spark of potential within you testifies to the divine design I placed upon your life. I call you to trust in my promises, to set aside the shadows of fear that whisper you are alone, and instead embrace the profound reality that you are never abandoned. For I will not let my precious child walk this path in isolation. Let each breath you take right now become a gentle reminder that my love pervades every second of your existence, urging you forward with courage and peace. You are a radiant jewel in my eyes, formed with an intricacy that reflects my creativity and care, and I want you to imagine for a moment how beautifully you shine when you align your heart with my plans. I did not place you on this earth as a mere afterthought. Rather, I crafted you with intention, weaving into your soul qualities and gifts that nobody else can replicate. In every season, whether the sun is shining on your accomplishments or the clouds of doubt roll in, I remain proud of you, rejoicing every single time you turn your attention to me, seeking my counsel, or simply resting in my arms. Do not measure your worth by external achievements or the opinions of others, because in my kingdom, your value is determined by the fact that you belong to me, created and sustained by my boundless grace. Stand firm in the knowledge that I delight in every step you take towards spiritual growth and deeper understanding, and I promise that your story holds chapters of unimaginable beauty yet to unfold. I know that sometimes your spirit grows weary, especially when troubles loom on the horizon like dark thunderheads, threatening to unleash storms of anxiety and dread upon your mind. You might have nights where your thoughts race, conjuring scenarios of failure or heartbreak, leaving you drained by the time the morning light breaks through your window. But my beloved, I see every tear you shed in silence, every tremor of worry that grips your heart, and I hold you close in those very moments when you feel most misunderstood or overlooked by the world. Understand that my compassion is not fleeting, and I will never belittle your struggles or brush aside your concerns. Instead, I tenderly gather each hurt and offer a shelter of peace that no worldly chaos can penetrate. Let your soul find rest in the certainty that I walk with you through every valley, that my presence is the guiding hand that lifts you out of sorrow and sets you upon steady ground once again. Do not fear the storms that rage in your life, for I am your living shield, the one who interposes my mighty arm between you and the fiercest arrows of adversity. I watch over you with an attention more focused than that of the most caring parent, scanning the horizon for any threat that might harm your spirit or rob your joy. Even in the moments when you question my timing or my methods, know that I am orchestrating events in ways that transcend human logic, ensuring that what unfolds ultimately works toward your good and my glory. Your eyes might only see the towering waves, but I see the broader panorama, the calm seas awaiting you beyond the tempest, the growth in resilience that such challenges will produce, and the power of a testimony forged in the crucible of trial. You can find solace in my promise that no matter how dark the night or how relentless the winds, I remain steadfast, anchoring you to hope so that despair never claims victory. My heart longs for your whispered prayers, for that open and honest communication between us is the foundation upon which deeper intimacy is built, and it is in that private communion that I pour out my richest blessings. There is no need for grand words or rehearsed speeches. Your sincere cry, even when it's no more than a tearful sigh, resonates in the courts of heaven and compels me to draw nearer still. Think of prayer not as a stiff ritual, but as a life-giving conversation, one in which you can offload your anxieties, voice your gratitude, or simply sit in silence, letting my presence wash over you. Too often you may feel you have to get it all together before you come to me, but my arms remain open wide for you even on your messiest days, welcoming every broken piece of your heart, every jumbled thought, and every quiet longing. Speak to me freely, confident in the knowledge that I understand you more intimately than you understand yourself. And I am always ready to listen with compassion and respond with unwavering grace. You are on a journey that can be beautiful and daunting in equal measure, a path I have prepared with milestones of growth and seasons of testing that shape your character into something more precious than gold. Many times you will face crossroads where the way forward seems unclear, or you'll encounter obstacles that cause you to question your ability to persevere. But in those moments, I urge you to remember who leads you. Like a shepherd who knows each sheep by name, I am intimately acquainted with your strengths, your fears, and every nuance of your personality. I do not drive you onward out of harshness. Rather, I lovingly guide you, taking into account your weaknesses and providing unexpected encouragements along the way. Rest assured that no barrier is insurmountable when you lean into my provision, for I stand ready to open doors you cannot yet perceive, to soften hearts that seem adamant, and to bring solutions from the most unexpected sources. When the night feels lonely and doubts coil themselves around your heart, whispering that no one truly understands you, find comfort in the promise that I have never once taken my eyes off you. Even before you were formed, I dreamed of your laughter, your uniqueness, and the profound ways you could reflect my love to a weary world. Though human relationships can falter, friends might betray you, loved ones might drift away, or misunderstandings may sever once cherished bonds, I remain the constant, unwavering companion by your side. In times of isolation, let your spirit reach out to me, remembering that my devotion to you transcends every boundary of circumstance, emotion, or ability, and that my care for you does not fluctuate with your failings or successes. Yes, my child, you can walk with your head held high, for I walk this road with you, delighting in the person you are becoming and seeking every opportunity to draw you closer to my heart. I rejoice in the hidden acts of kindness you perform, those moments where you place someone else's needs above your own, expecting no applause or recognition. You mirror my compassion each time you share a smile with a stranger, lend a listening ear to a friend in distress, or offer a helping hand to the one who feels forgotten by society. Even the simplest gesture, a warm meal to a neighbor, a kind note slipped into someone's hand at precisely the right moment, can carry the fragrance of my presence, reminding others that they are seen and valued. Know that nothing done in love goes unnoticed in my eyes, for each loving action ripples out like a pebble dropped in still water, spreading impact wider than you can imagine. Keep sowing seeds of mercy wherever you go, confident that in due season, you will witness the fruit of these seemingly small efforts, blossoming into testimonies of hope and transformation. Be encouraged that I have made you for purpose far beyond what the world might label as success. Though pursuing careers, caring for families, or honing talents are indeed parts of your calling, there is a deeper dimension. The invitation to spread my love through word and deed, to become a beacon in whatever sphere of influence you occupy. Reflect on the stories in Scripture of shepherds turned into prophets, fishermen into apostles, and realize that I delight in empowering everyday people to accomplish extraordinary works. If you feel inadequate or too ordinary, consider this. I specialize in elevating the humble, the overlooked, and the broken, transforming them into vessels of my glory that confound the wisdom of this age. Do not disqualify yourself based on your past mistakes or current limitations. Instead, let my Spirit fill you with boldness, equipping you to stand in places where you can shine my goodness to those who need it most. When the burdens of life weigh you down to the point you can hardly stand, remember that I am your refuge in every storm, a sanctuary where you can find rest for your weary soul. Surrender is not defeat when it involves laying your struggles at my feet, trusting that I am fully capable of turning your heaviness into light. Like an eagle that carries its young upon its wings, I long to lift you above the turbulence, giving you a perspective that sees past the immediate trial into the hope that lies beyond. Let my peace displace your anxiety by shifting your focus from the magnitude of the problem to the greatness of the one who holds you in his hand. Yes, the winds of circumstance may still roar, the waves may still crash, but in the safety of my embrace, you will discover a calm that defies your surroundings and testifies to the power of my sustaining love. Do not fear rejection or condemnation from me, because my arms are always open wide, and my heart yearns for your fellowship. Even when you stumble into sin or succumb to temptations you thought you had conquered, I invite you to return without shame, letting repentance cleanse you, and my forgiveness restore you. Remember how I embraced the prodigal son, how I invited a weary people to come and reason together, promising to wash them white as snow. These are not poetic exaggerations, but revelations of my actual desire for closeness with you. Throw off the chains of guilt and step into the freedom that my grace provides, trusting that I have the power to transform every failing into a stepping stone toward greater intimacy with me. Embrace this limitless mercy, for as far as the east is from the west, so do I cast your sins away when you come to me with a contrite heart, seeking renewal and a fresh start. I see the times you've wrestled with faith, questioning why certain prayers remain unanswered or why some blessings seem delayed. In your humanity, it's natural to want immediate results, to crave a clear sign that I'm at work. But remember that my timeline often differs from yours, meticulously shaping events for the right moment and the perfect outcome. You might not notice the subtle threads of my orchestration weaving through your daily life, but they are there, connecting your experiences, encounters, and lessons learned into a tapestry that reflects my sovereignty. Trust that even in periods of waiting, I am refining your heart, teaching you patience, and positioning circumstances for a greater unveiling of my goodness. Hold on to hope, my beloved, for my delays are never denials. They are opportunities for deeper trust and the forging of your character into something strong and radiant, capable of bearing more of my divine presence. Open your soul to prayer, dear one, not as a chore to check off your list, but as an ongoing dialogue with the lover of your soul, the one who invented the concept of communion to bond intimately with you. Think of how a conversation with a cherished friend can uplift your day, ease your anxieties, or simply make you feel seen and multiply that sensation infinitely. This is what unfolds when you invite me into your daily routines, your victories, and your doubts. Try presenting even your mundane tasks to me, your errands, your social engagements, your dreams, and watch how my input brings clarity and direction you never anticipated. You don't need lofty language or a guilt-laden approach. Simply speak to me from the place where you are right now, messy or joyful, uncertain or bursting with praise. In that authenticity lies the doorway to miracles, for I respond to sincerity, not perfection, and I love your voice more than you could ever comprehend. Have confidence in the future I am preparing for you, a future that might hold twists and turns beyond your current imagining, yet remains firmly anchored in my unwavering love. I do not promise a life free of challenges, for refining fires produce refined hearts. But I do assure you that every mountain you face can become a testimony of my faithfulness when you trust me as your guide. Imagine stepping onto a road you've never traveled, feeling the exhilaration and the apprehension simultaneously. Know that my hand is at your side, offering direction, comfort, and a steady supply of hope for the journey. Embrace every new season with expectancy, convinced that my resources for you exceed your needs, and that I provide new mercies with each dawn. Keep your eyes open for the subtle glimpses of my handiwork in your relationships, your creative pursuits, your quiet revelations, for each is a puzzle piece that, when assembled, paints a glorious portrait of a life touched by divine orchestration. My abiding love for you does not fluctuate with your mood, your achievements, or your stumbles, because it is grounded in my essence, unchanging, inexhaustible, forever bright. Even when you doubt your own worth, I reaffirm it with a gentle whisper that you are my cherished treasure, fashioned by my hand for a purpose that transcends earthly limitations. Think about the deep affection a parent feels for a beloved child, then multiply that by infinity, and you might begin to grasp the fervor of my devotion to you. Let this reality free you from the chains of performance-based approval. Rest in the knowledge that you cannot earn my affection, nor can you lose it. When trials besiege you, remember my unchanging heart, and let it be your anchor, for in my eyes you are always precious, and my longing to hold you close never diminishes. I bless your family and those whom you hold dear, for I see your concerns about their future, their health, and their well-being, and my compassion extends to each precious life connected to yours. You may feel helpless at times, wishing you could solve every problem or protect them from every harm. Yet I assure you that my watchful gaze rests upon them as well. Bring your loved ones to me in prayer, trusting that I care for them even more deeply than you ever could, orchestrating circumstances in ways that might take time to unfold. Plant seeds of kindness, understanding, and spiritual truth into their lives, and do not underestimate the ripple effect of a gentle word or a supportive gesture. Then allow me the space to work in hearts, behind the scenes and beyond your power, demonstrating that my love for your family can mend rifts, open doors, and usher in miracles beyond your wildest hopes. Walk forward in my peace, my child, unafraid of the uncertainties that may lie ahead, for I hold all your days in the palm of my hand. You might feel the temptation to retreat into doubt or self-preservation, but I whisper to you instead, dare to believe in the greatness I've placed within you, dared to be cultivated for my glory. Fear not the critics or the naysayers, nor the menacing voice of your own insecurity, because I who call you am faithful, and I equip you to stand with dignity and resilience. When you take each step in alignment with my spirit, you move under the covering of divine favor, turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones and impossibilities into testimonies of my might. Let your faith soar in the knowledge that I go before you, behind you, and beside you, orchestrating a victory that proclaims my name and blesses your spirit abundantly. Know also that I cherish your time of rest, for in ceasing from the busyness of life, you create space for me to rejuvenate your spirit and whisper new revelations into your heart. Embrace periods of solitude, not as idleness, but as the holy ground where my still, small voice can be heard more clearly. Indeed, I have instilled in you the capacity to labor, to create, to serve with excellence, yet I also designed you to pause, to breathe deeply, and to allow my healing presence to soothe the wounds that daily living can inflict. If you find yourself caught in endless cycles of striving, gently place your burdens at my feet and allow me to replenish you, mind, body, and soul. Remember the words of the psalmist who found comfort beside still waters. a reassurance that you too can dwell in my peace, letting my love cradle you until your strength is renewed like the eagle's wings. Even the painful chapters of your story can become catalysts for profound empathy, drawing you closer to my heart and equipping you to comfort others who travel through similar valleys. The tears you have shed, the heartbreak you have endured, they do not go unnoticed, nor are they wasted in the economy of my kingdom. Each moment of sorrow can be transformed into a reservoir of compassion, a wellspring from which genuine understanding and encouragement can flow to those in need. Allow me to use your trials as testimony, a beacon that proclaims, yes, I was bruised, I was broken, but by the grace of God I am still here, standing, loving, thriving. When you share that healing grace, you become my hands and feet in a hurting world, bridging the gap for someone else who feels too faint to reach for hope on their own. I invite you to stay awake spiritually, to resist the lures that dull your sensitivity to my voice, complacency, cynicism, or the noisy trifles of the world that drown out divine melodies. Keep your heart tender through constant communion with me, through immersing yourself in my word, and through fellowship with others who seek my face earnestly. As you cultivate a spirit of watchfulness, you will discern my nudges, the subtle prompts that guide you away from pitfalls and toward divine appointments rich with purpose. My desire is that you flourish, bearing fruit that reflects my character: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. With each passing day, as you yield to my shaping hands, your life will shine more brightly, illuminating the grace and truth that reside at the core of my being. The future is not something to dread, for I already inhabit every tomorrow, preparing blessings that exceed your imagination and forging pathways through the wilderness where none seemed possible. Release the tight grip of worry that too often robs the present of its joy, and lean into my sovereignty, recognizing that I orchestrate all things for your good when your heart aligns with my will. Whether your next chapter involves changes in career, relationships, health, or location, I remain your constant, the compass that never fails to point you toward hope. Even in times of transition that feel disorienting, I plant seeds of potential in the soil of uncertainty, ready to bloom once you surrender the outcome to me. Let anticipation replace dread, for as you keep your eyes on my promises, you'll discover I never fail to show up with compassion and provision at precisely the right juncture. Be assured that my love for you will never fade, for it stands rooted in the covenant I made long before the foundations of the world, a covenant sealed with my own immeasurable sacrifice. No hardship, no failure, no setback can separate you from this divine affection which transcends every human limitation. It is an ever-flowing river of grace, refreshing your spirit when the desert of life parches your optimism. So take a moment to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and sense the warmth of my love wrapping around you like a comforting blanket on a cold night. Rest in this knowledge, and let that love energize your soul, reminding you that your identity is ultimately found in me, not in the fleeting affirmations or rejections of this earthly realm. I bless you and your family with my protective hand, covering each of you with favor as you step out in faith, forging stronger bonds of love and forging deeper trust in my guidance. Whenever you worry about the well-being of those under your care, remember that I hold them even more tenderly than you do, working behind the scenes to fulfill my good purposes in their lives. This blessing does not mean you will be exempt from trials, but it does mean that my presence will accompany you through every twist and turn. Cling to the promise that though you may walk through fires of testing, you shall not be burned. Though floods of challenges rise, you will not be overtaken, because I am with you, sustaining you with my righteous right hand. And in the end, every storm you weather together will only deepen your collective testimony of unity, resilience, and hope. Now walk forward in my peace, confident that the best is indeed yet to come, because your story does not conclude with present struggles or fleeting hardships. Each day is a fresh slate, an opportunity to experience my faithfulness anew, to discover the wisdom hidden in trial, and to reflect my character a little more clearly. Keep your heart open to my daily mercies, whether they arrive in the form of a surprising breakthrough or a small moment of comfort in the midst of routine. Stand on the firm foundation of my word. Draw strength from the knowledge that the Maker of heaven and earth calls you by name, and do not let any voice, internal or external, convince you otherwise. Yes, my beloved, hold your head high, for my Spirit is upon you. My grace is at work within you, and a future abundant in blessings stretches out before you like a wide expanse of dawn. My child, I invite you to embrace the calling I've spoken over your life, for each breath you take is a testament to my ongoing investment in your potential. Resist the impulse to compare your journey with another's, understanding that your path is uniquely designed to refine your strengths and reveal the glory of my handiwork in you. When discouragement whispers lies of inadequacy, silence those voices with the promise that I am shaping you daily, forming a masterpiece that radiates my brilliance. There will be seasons of pruning when certain relationships or pursuits fall away, but do not cling to what no longer fosters growth. Instead, trust that I remove only to replace with better, to pave the way for fresh outpourings of spiritual vitality and fruitfulness in your life. Release control of the blueprint you once scribbled in your own limited perspective, and watch as my far-reaching vision unfolds, something breathtakingly beautiful. Yes, my mercy overflows in your direction each morning, wiping the slate clean of yesterday's regrets and granting you the liberty to step forward unburdened. If you find yourself weighed down by past mistakes or unfulfilled obligations, know that I do not see you through the lens of condemnation, but through the perspective of redemption, forever urging you to rise again and walk with renewed zeal. Feel no need to shy away from my presence because you feel unworthy. My love has never been contingent upon your perfection, and I knew your frailties from the start, yet still I chose you. Let my mercy unravel the knots of guilt in your heart, instilling a quiet confidence that you are forgiven, cherished, and invited into deeper communion with me. Savor the relief that comes from releasing your burdens at the foot of the cross, where every chain that once held you captive can be broken. In the struggle against temptation and old habits, do not for a moment assume you battle alone, because my Spirit stands ready to empower you, infusing your resolve with supernatural strength. When you feel the grip of destructive patterns tightening around your will, cry out to me and I will respond, shining my light into the darkest recesses of your conflict. My word provides a blueprint for victory, guiding you with principles that safeguard your heart and keep you aligned with righteousness. Through consistent prayer, fellowship with other believers, and the resolute choice to dwell on what is pure and holy, you become more adept at recognizing and resisting the snares laid before you. Embrace each triumph, no matter how small, as evidence that I am at work within you, sanctifying your desires so that they mirror the holiness and love that reflect my nature. You might be surprised at how powerfully I can transform your perspective when you invite me to shape your thoughts. In a world filled with negativity, cynicism, and unrelenting demands on your attention, setting your mind on things above becomes a fortress that protects your peace. Choose to meditate on the goodness you witness, a restored friendship, a medical report that came back clean, a sunrise that leaves you breathless with wonder. These are reminders of my constant involvement in the fabric of your life. As your mind becomes more attuned to my daily mercies, you'll find that gratitude naturally overflows, casting out the shadows of discontent and cultivating a spirit of joy that can flourish even in challenging circumstances. Let your intellect dwell on my promises, your imagination dwell on my infinite possibilities, and your heart dwell on my unending compassion. In doing so, you anchor your soul in a hope that cannot be extinguished. Guard your heart, not with walls that prevent love from entering, but with the discernment that rejects toxic influences, discouraging lies, and anything that contradicts the truth of my word. Your heart is a precious wellspring of life, a tender place where I plant seeds of purpose and inspiration, so be careful about what you allow to take root there. If you sense negativity encroaching, jealousy, resentment, or despair, bring it to me swiftly, and let my healing grace uproot the weeds that would choke your spiritual growth. Nurture your inner being with worship, with time in Scripture, and with uplifting conversation that sharpens your faith. Reflect often on my love, letting it saturate your innermost thoughts, because in that sacred space, my presence fosters wholeness and draws you deeper into the calling I have laid out before you. Consider how every sunset you witness testifies that the day's labors and burdens can be set to rest, preparing you for the new dawn that inevitably comes. In the same way, I encourage you to lay down your worries at the close of each day, trusting that my watchful eyes remain open through the night, ever vigilant on your behalf. Sleep becomes more than physical rest. It is also a spiritual act of trust, an acknowledgement that you are not the one holding the universe together. I am. And in the stillness of slumber, I often whisper solutions to your subconscious, bring peace to your anxious mind, and restore your energy for whatever challenges or blessings await. So do not cling so fiercely to the concerns that weigh on your heart. Instead, allow yourself to slip into the refuge of my care, knowing I gently cradle your life and every detail woven within it. When you are called to serve, whether in the smallest everyday tasks or the grandest of assignments, remember that you serve not for human applause, but as an ambassador of my love. Cultivate humility, realizing that each person you encounter carries struggles unseen, yearnings unvoiced, and by meeting them with empathy, you mirror my character in a world that so desperately needs it. Service done out of genuine compassion resonates with a supernatural beauty, touching hearts far more deeply than words alone can achieve. If you sense hesitation, fearing you lack the knowledge or skill, lean on my Spirit, who can empower you beyond your natural capacity, granting wisdom where you feel naive, and offering courage where you feel faint. Then watch how your selfless giving boomerangs back as fulfillment and growth, proving that those who refresh others are themselves refreshed by my unending grace. In moments when you stand at a crossroads, uncertain which direction to pursue, approach me openly and let my guidance supersede your doubts. I do not hover above you with condemnation for your confusion, but rather I reach out in kindness, ready to fill your mind with clarity and place on your heart a gentle confirmation of which road leads toward deeper blessing and alignment with my purpose. Sometimes I speak through a stirring in your spirit, sometimes through wise counsel, sometimes through scriptures that leap off the page, perfectly addressing your dilemma. Be patient if the answer does not manifest instantly, for my timing weaves together countless threads of other lives and circumstances as well, orchestrating a harmony that your finite vision cannot yet appreciate. Nevertheless, have confidence. I am the master planner, and your steps are not random when you walk with a surrendered and expectant heart. Take solace in the fact that your grief does not go unseen, your heartbreak is not dismissed, your wounded soul is not left to fend for itself in the aftermath of loss or disappointment. I am close to the brokenhearted, healing each invisible bruise with a love that transcends your darkest nights. If you find yourself wondering how to endure another day of sadness, call out my name, for I specialize in mending sorrow by granting glimpses of purpose beyond pain. Over time, you may look back and realize that your seasons of grief became the very soil in which compassion grew, enabling you to reach others who also walk through valleys of despair. Let the tears you've wept be seeds of empathy, and trust that I hold you tenderly in that space where your heart aches the most, slowly replacing despair with hope that endures. I encourage you to keep singing, even if your melody feels off-key or your voice trembles with fatigue, because worship transcends performance and touches the realm of the heart. In praising me, you redirect your gaze from fleeting troubles to my eternal nature, allowing my majesty to overshadow the anxiety that once loomed large. Through worship, you unite with believers across generations and cultures, joining a timeless chorus that affirms my goodness amidst every conceivable human experience. So lift up your song, whether literal or metaphorical, and let it become a bridge that carries you from discouragement to praise, from confusion to clarity. I rejoice in your authentic offering, cherishing every note that arises from a soul that chooses to honor me even when circumstances would suggest otherwise. Reflect often on the beauty of creation that surrounds you, from the complex ecosystem of a garden to the grandeur of a mountain range, and perceive my fingerprints in every delicate petal, every towering oak, every dawn sky ablaze with color. These wonders are not random. They are expressions of my creativity, placed in your path to spark moments of awe and gratitude. Embrace them as daily reminders that I, who so meticulously arrange nature's harmony, can also orchestrate the details of your life with artistry and compassion. Let each encounter with nature's splendor point you back to the truth that I am a God of abundant resources, able to provide for you in ways far more diverse and miraculous than you might expect. When the world feels mechanized and cold, stepping outside to marvel at a starry night can realign your perspective with my grandeur, offering a quiet reassurance that my hand still guides the cosmos and you. Remember that I have provided a family of believers for you, a spiritual community where you can share burdens, celebrate breakthroughs, and receive wise counsel in times of doubt. Do not isolate yourself when troubles come, for I designed fellowship to strengthen each member, dispersing the weight of hardships and multiplying the joy of victories. Seek out companions in faith who will pray with you, stand with you, and sometimes lovingly correct you when you stray. For this mutual care reflects the unity I prayed for before the foundation of the world. In the collective experience of worship, service, and laughter, you find glimpses of heaven on earth, small yet powerful manifestations of my kingdom alive among those who call me Lord. So whenever discouragement tempts you to withdraw, fight back by reaching out, letting my grace flow through the relationships I've placed in your life. When you question your worthiness, fearing that your past disqualifies you from my favor, recall that I am the great Redeemer who delights in restoring shattered lives. Look at the lineage of saints. Many were flawed, yet each was used mightily when they humbled themselves and sought my cleansing. From murderers turned prophets to cowards transformed into courageous apostles, I have never been limited by human brokenness, for my power thrives where humility invites divine intervention. Your story, with all its twists and heartbreaks, still brims with the potential for redemption, because I can weave gold threads of grace into even the darkest fabric of your experiences. Stand in the assurance that your best days are not behind you. They are formed in cooperation with me, forging a future that embodies new beginnings and renewed faith. Treasure the childlike wonder that stirs in your spirit when you encounter something magical or unexplainable, for this wonder is a gateway to deeper communion with me. While maturity calls you to wisdom and discernment, Do not let it snuff out the bright flame of curiosity that yearns to see me move in miraculous ways, big or small. Yes, be wise as serpents, but also innocent as doves, maintaining a faith that dares to hope for the impossible and a heart open to marvel at my handiwork. When skeptics roll their eyes at your capacity for amazement, remember that the greatest breakthroughs often come to those who first believe they are possible. Embrace each revelation of my greatness with wide-eyed gratitude, letting that sense of awe propel you into higher levels of worship and deeper realms of trust. Stay mindful of how your words carry power, the power to uplift or to wound, to bless or to curse. So speak with the grace that I continually extend to you. Let truth be your guide, but always season it with love. For truth without compassion can crush a delicate spirit, while compassion without truth can enable destructive paths. In each conversation, weigh the potential impact of your words, recalling that you represent my heart in your interactions, and that a gentle tone can disarm anger just as a soft answer can turn away wrath. It's not about sugarcoating reality, but about expressing even tough truths with empathy and respect. Guard your tongue from the toxins of gossip, slander, and excessive criticism, choosing instead to let your speech be a reflection of my living water that refreshes weary souls. Recognize that your decisions, both large and small, form the tapestry of your character, and I implore you to involve me in every crossroads you face. No part of your life is too trivial for my interest. I care about your friendships, your workplace decisions, your daily attitudes, and even your leisure activities, because I see how each thread contributes to your wholeness or brokenness. When you submit your plans to me, you align them with eternal significance, inviting me to guide you onto roads that lead to growth and fruitfulness. Even if a certain path later proves challenging or complicated, rest assured that I can work all things together for good. When your heart remains open to my correction and counsel, remember that you are not alone in these choices. My spirit stands ready to enlighten your mind, urging you onward with wisdom and peace that surpass human comprehension. I know that many days you might awaken with the weight of the world pressing on your shoulders. News headlines that bleed negativity, personal responsibilities that never seem to end, and a swirling uncertainty about tomorrow. Yet I call you to greet each dawn with a resilient heart, anchored in the truth that my mercies are new every morning, resetting the stage for hope, redemption, and progress. Let the first moments of your day be directed heavenward, even if only through a simple prayer of gratitude, for that small act reorients your perspective, reminding you that you do not walk alone, but hand in hand with the Creator of the universe. Begin your day with expectancy, confident that I can turn your greatest stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and that no difficulty is too complex for my guidance to address. With me, even the darkest hours can lead to a sunrise radiant with promise. In your times of greatest weakness, let my strength shine most brightly, revealing a dimension of my power that only becomes evident when you've reached the end of your own resources. If you're exhausted, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, realize that your limitations need not spell defeat, for my grace is made perfect in weakness. Relinquish the pride that insists on self-sufficiency and dare to rely on my sufficiency, finding that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. As you turn to me for your daily manna, your daily renewal, you will gradually perceive that my provision is not sporadic but consistent, flowing in measure with your needs. Let that reality foster humility, gratitude, and deeper trust, shaping you into a vessel that testifies to the wonders of a life sustained by the Lord Almighty. Guard your mind against the endless cycle of worry that tries to consume your peace, for worry is an insidious thief, robbing you of the present moment and casting gloom over the horizon that I have illuminated with hope. Instead, train your thoughts toward that which is good, noble, pure, and praiseworthy, anchoring your perspective in the resilience of my promises. My word stands as an arsenal of truth to combat negative thinking, and as you meditate on it day and night, you fortify your mental strongholds against the lies that the world or the enemy might peddle. Let your prayer life become a place where you process your concerns openly, then emerge with a renewed conviction that I remain in control, weaving your circumstances into a tapestry that, in due time, showcases my perfect plan. When you feel your faith wavering, like a candle flickering in a strong wind, seek out my presence until your spirit finds new stability. Faith is not the absence of questions or struggles. It's the assurance that I am bigger than both. Even a mustard seed of belief can move mountains when coupled with obedience. For it's never really about the magnitude of your faith, but the magnitude of the one you trust. Do not berate yourself for moments of doubt. Instead, bring them into the light of my presence and watch how my word counters each fear with the unstoppable truth of my sovereignty. Nourish your faith through testimonies, those in Scripture, those from fellow believers, and those from your own life, recalling times I delivered you from crises you once thought insurmountable. As your memory of my faithfulness grows, so will your capacity to believe in the miracles yet to unfold. Be consistent in speaking blessings over your circumstances, over your household, and even over strangers who cross your path, because words saturated with hope can kindle hope in others. This is not about denying reality. It's about declaring my power to transform reality, to bring forth good even in hopeless places. When you speak blessings, you align your heart with mine, echoing my desire that none should perish, but that all should come to the knowledge of truth. The environment around you can shift when you proclaim my promises, turning an atmosphere of tension into one of reconciliation, or a climate of despair into one of aspiration. Resist the cynicism that might label such declarations as naive, for my kingdom thrives on childlike faith that believes in the invisible becoming tangible. Let your words seed the ground with positivity, trusting that I can water and nurture those seeds into a harvest of life-giving fruit. And so I reiterate, my love for you remains an everlasting current, enveloping you from the moment you open your eyes in the morning until your final waking thought at night, and beyond into the realm of dreams. You cannot outpace my love, nor can you exhaust it through failures, doubts, or even prolonged rebellion, because it is a reflection of my very nature, and I am infinite. Rest in this truth, allowing it to embolden you to walk confidently into each new challenge, secure in the knowledge that a divine hand upholds you. Let your footsteps be guided by the lamp of my word, your heart warmed by the flame of my grace, and your mind at peace through the reassurance that I am for you, not against you. Yes, my beloved child, you have been chosen, set apart, and dearly treasured, and nothing in all creation can separate you from this immeasurable devotion. Receive my blessing now, extended over your present moments and your future ambitions, covering your loved ones, your work, your health, and your dreams. I speak life into your endeavors, courage into your spirit, wisdom into your decisions, and compassion into your relationships. May you walk forward in my peace, unruffled by the anxious clamoring of the world, and anchored in a serenity that testifies to a power beyond human comprehension. Dwell in that peace daily, draw from it. Let it fill the corners of your being so thoroughly that others encounter my tranquility whenever they meet you. And if ever storms do arise, cling to my promise that I remain your refuge and fortress, ready to calm the tempest within before quieting the winds without. Look toward tomorrow with confidence, for the best truly lies ahead, unfolding in step with my gracious timing and unstoppable purpose. Do not let the shadows of yesterday eclipse the bright horizon I have painted for you. nor let the sting of past disappointments prevent you from believing in a fresh surge of blessings. Recall how the dawn inevitably follows the night, how spring inevitably succeeds the cold grip of winter, and let this cyclical truth remind you that your spirit can find renewal in me, no matter how barren the present season appears. With my spirit as your guide and companion, you can scale mountains, endure deserts, and conquer giants, all the while retaining a heart that rejoices in my unchanging goodness. Stand tall, my beloved child, for I hold your hand, ushering you onward toward victories unseen, weaving your life into a masterpiece that reflects my eternal glory.